They said it was impossible. They said,
you can't put together the most elite team of comic book reviewers on the planet and do, a podcast or something like that?
Despite all that, today we can proudly announce. Yeah, they were right. We couldn't do it. So instead, we brought you the most vile, ignorant, unprofessional group of comic book enthusiasts we could find. This is Panel to Panel, the Game Rage Magazine comic podcast.
Welcome back, everyone, to the greatest named podcast that you'll never fucking hear about, Panel to Panel. Too bad. What a great name wasted on a bunch of fucking nobodies who are never going to hear us. Oh, well. My name's Josh. I'm here today with good buddy Adam.
Yes.
And today we're talking about Darth Vader from 2017, issue number 3.
And I feel like we're going to do an episode of Game Rage Star Wars because, I don't know, man. We didn't actually talk about, because we've, just before we get to like the plugs and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've actually talked about how this is shaped how we view Vader, because we talked about each comic and what they do for Vader in two different settings. Because now 2017 Vader is Darth Vader becoming the Sith Lord Darth Vader. Darth Vader, the 2015 series,
he's already full Vader.
Is him as the Empire. We're working within the Empire.
Yeah.
But we haven't talked about like how we perceive Vader now as a result of these two comics.
That's true. And so that will be coming out this week. The follow-up on Darth Vader comics for Game Rage Star Wars. So go check that out. And before we get started on Darth Vader 2017 number 3, if you want to help us out, if you want to do a solid, which, I mean, listen, you guys have showed up, all right, a little bit. The number is slowly declining of what we need to get to. But we still need 18 subscribers, all right? 18 fucking subscribers. That's all we need on YouTube. So please help a fucking fellow comic brother out and just go to YouTube and hit the subscribe button. Also, like, comment, do whatever the fuck they do on there. The typical nonsense. If you want to follow us on social media, I'd prefer you just to go to YouTube. Don't even fuck around with the other shit, all right? But if you're already followed on YouTube, go follow on social media, Game Rage Magazine, Game Rage Magazine, Instagram and TikTok, Game Rage Mag, Twitter/X. If you want to follow Adam, you can follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official on Instagram. And check out the All Gas No Trash podcast, which is the Game Rage music podcast. Talk about music and all kinds of cool things. Just did an album review of Tyler, the Creator.
Chromacopia.
Can you feel the light inside it? I've been singing that all fucking week.
Can you feel the light? Yeah.
And then also, if you like anime and manga, go listen to the Anime Syndicate podcast, and you can follow Frank at anime_syndicate_podcast. All right. Now that those are out of the way, Darth Vader number 3. I thought this cover was cool too, because it's got I forget what this guy's name is, Master Ilfadan or Infidel. I don't know, fucking some name, some weird Jedi name. And he's fucking standing over Vader looking thick as fuck, man. Like, this dude is dense. He's just on no steroids. The only steroid he's using is the Force, all right?
He's on fucking, wait, what's that shit that milk that fucking...
Oh, the blue milk?
No, the milk that fucking Luke Skywalker was drinking on that planet.
Oh, yeah, from the animals, like those penguin things or whatever. Like, yeah. He's drinking it straight from the tit.
Yeah, he's on a fucking...
He's on that. That's all he's on. He's drinking those fucking... that Lost Planet's fucking animal milk. It's just chock full of Trembolone and fucking horse steroids or whatever. Anyways, so we get to the opening crawl as we always do, and as is tradition, I will read it in the voice that we have given to 000. Man, I'll tell you what, it'd be really cool if they ever put 000 in some sort of an animated thing or in like a show, and then they asked me to do the voice since I've just been doing it so well. I mean, Jesus Christ, you might as well. But anyways, Here we go. The Chosen One, Part 3. The Clone Wars are over. The Jedi are defeated. Palpatine has become the Emperor, finally in position to bend the galaxy to his will through the power of the Sith. Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker, swayed by Palpatine's promise to help prevent the death of his pregnant wife Padme, betrayed the Jedi and became the Sith Lord Darth Vader. His wife died nonetheless. Under orders by Palpatine to locate the surviving Jedi and corrupt the kyber crystal within their lightsaber, Vader invaded an old Jedi way station and accessed the archives to search for any possible survivors of the Jedi Purge. Now, Vader is headed toward Jedi Master Kirak Infila. That's what his name is. Oh, one of the last remaining relics of the Jedi Order. We're just gonna call this guy Kirak, all right? Because I don't know. Infila? Is that how you would say that? I don't know.
I don't know, but
Jedi have weird fucking names, man.
why the fuck do I care? He's gonna die anyways.
Yeah, that's true. Who gives a fuck? Vader's gonna kill this
He's
son
gonna
of
be
a
cannon
bitch
fodder
anyways.
anyways.
Yeah. So we get to the mid-rim river moon of Al Dolim. And we got this dude sitting here with all this fucking shit hovering above him. And basically, he's just in this, like, Jedi meditative state. And one of the, he's got, like, one of those Jedi, it's like a training droid, kind of, where they just basically fucking attack you or whatever. He's got this thing set to fuck with him, I guess, because he's in, like, his, you know, he's, like, in his Jedi, like, it's not like a penance or kind of like his own self-imposed exile to commune only with the Force, essentially. And basically, he's fighting this thing while putting together a puzzle, like with the Force. So, you know, practicing his combat skills while concentrating on doing an intricate thing. So, you know, this is typical, like, Jedi Master type continued education training, I think. And so, essentially, he does this. He's doing this while Vader is flying in. And basically, they're like, hey, the droid, this Imperial probe droid that he's with is like, something is coming, incoming. I don't know what it could be. He's like, Vader's like, well, what is it, like missiles or some shit? And he's like, I think it's art. I don't know. And then those things that he was putting together just get fucking chucked at his ship. And of course, because fucking most Imperial starfighters or fighter ships have no fucking shielding whatsoever. It basically just cracks his ship and fucks it up to where now he's got a fucking emergency land and basically just walk his ass all the way over there. And so the droid's like, I will fix this. Please let me fix this. And so he says, all right, well, we're gonna move on. I'm just gonna go walk. I'm gonna walk to this motherfucker. And so Vader starts walking, and he's going through this fucking canyon, and this dude rolls up.
You sir there.
Yeah.
You sir there. You look like you're looking for an ass whooping.
That's basically what he tells him. He's like, you stink of darkness. Was it you? You sir. I believe you want the ass whooping. And then he's like, check under your chair. There's an ass whooping for you. An ass whooping for you. And Vader immediately, and this is one of the things that's great about Darth Vader, right? He knows who he's here to fucking fight. He knows what he's got to do. And this guy's like doing the typical Jedi sort of preamble of like before they fight where they're going to exchange words. Vader just says nothing and immediately starts force choking the guy. And he's just like, the fuck? Like,
he's
Jesus.
like, fuck all that.
Yeah. He's like, fuck, man. He's like, get the fuck out of here. And so this dude is basically saying, this Master Infala is basically saying how you can't defeat me with the Force. Like, you're not going to be able to do that. And he just says, like, I basically think that it was you. And he's like, did you do it? Did you kill everybody? And Vader just goes, yes. And he's like, okay, so are you here to kill me too? Yes. Like, and then this dude is like, Master Infala, smiling, says, as I hoped. And I will say, that is cool. And it's not to say that all Jedi are, I mean, most Jedi were likely, you know, keepers of the peace, not battle fucking warriors, I guess, right?
People looking for looking for something to scrap
Right.
with.
And it's cool to see a Jedi that's like, oh, I'm always up for a good scrap. Like, ready to fucking fight at the drop of a hat. And so Master Infala goes on to say about his transgressions and how that's why he took the bearish vow to basically live alone until he found his true Jedi path or whatever it was. And he said, basically, that's why I know you came here, because you knew this. Like, you must have figured that out. That's why how I'm around, because, like, obviously I would have been killed. And so he basically says he's declaring his Barash complete, and this is my path. The killer of all my brothers and sisters, it is my path to kill him. That is what my path. It's now revealed to me to the Force, right? Through the Force. And he goes on to talk about this mountain called Pazval and how it's this sacred, mountain that tests any of the Jedi who come through here. And basically, like, the higher up the mountain you go, the more challenging it is to ascend the mountain.
He's putting him through a gauntlet.
Yeah, he's going through like a physical and mental gauntlet or whatever. And so he just fucking says, oh, if you make it, if you live, I'll be at the top waiting for your bitch ass. So this was kind of also like some Goku training shit from like Dragon Ball Z, where it's like, I don't know, someone, I can't think of an exact example, but it's like somebody being like, oh yeah, here, wear these weights that are like 20,000 pounds and train with them. And then, when you're done and you're tired, but you can finally do it, oh, then we'll fight.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you've worn yourself out completely. Oh, and then we're going to fight.
Yeah.
So
hang out on this planet that's got 9 times the gravity.
yeah. And then when you're done and you're tired, but you've completed it and you're super tired, oh, then we'll have our fight. And then I'll fuck you up and kill you. Like, that's basically what it is. And so he opens up these gates and just fucking lets all this water flow in. And it just fucking hits Vader, takes his ass out. And Vader fucking parts the Red Sea as Moses and just fucking... Maybe Moses was a fucking Jedi. Maybe that's how he was able to do all that shit if that story's legit.
What is nice to see here is that Vader is pushing the limits of his Force abilities or what he's capable of, using it for creative purposes, like to be drenched in water, to be engulfed in water, and then fuck all that. Force, like, I'm using the Force on everything. Fuck this shit. Moses, part the waters.
Parting the seas and walking out. And basically, he's walking across this bridge, this rock bridge, and all of a sudden this, like, I don't know if this is like some kind of weird fucking dinosaur eagle or some shit, and it just comes down and just starts fucking trying to get him. And there's like a couple of them, and Vader gets pissed. He fucking crashes 2 of them into each other, and then there's, oh shit, he just pissed off the whole nest, right? And so now they're all coming after him, and so basically the droid that's controlling all this shit is like, would you like me to blow the bridge now? I would like to kill this person. And then old Master Infala says, nah, I can feel this, all this darkness, this cold, all this pain. Like, it's like the pain that I felt when all the Jedi died. Like, he took it all and put it into himself. And, that's kind of interesting, because that's what essentially the Sith run on, right? Is like pain and hate. And Vader, if that could explain, again, I mean, obviously Vader, as Anakin Skywalker, he was probably the most powerful Jedi, or one of the most powerful Jedi. Then when he turns to the dark side, taking all of the anger and the pain of all the Jedi that he killed into himself would just make him like an ultra extra powerful fucking Sith Lord. So essentially the droid is basically saying like, well, I don't know what he is, because Sith Lords have like red blades or crimson blades, and I don't think he has any of these. And he basically just says, oh, he's gonna defeat these Raptorians, which is what they're called, these birds. And he's like, he'll defeat them shortly. So if you want to collapse the bridge, I suggest we do it now. And he says no. He's like, thank you all, my friends, for your service. Let this thing pass. Let the creature pass. And so he calls off the birds. They fuck off. And to give one last fuck you, Vader just like crushes one of the birds with the Force, and he kills it. And he's just like, God damn. And he's like, you know what?
This motherfucker's hateful.
He is spiteful. He's like, damn. You know what? Fuck it. Turn off all the traps. Turn off all the obstacles. This dude we need to fight. Like this, let him fucking come here. And so dude shows up at the top. Vader's walking up, and he basically just tells him like, yes, dirty creature, you're almost here. Keep going. I believe in you. Like that's some funny ass shit. Like to taunt your opponent, like, oh, I believe you can do this little menial task. Oh yes, come do this, and then I will kill you.
And also, Vader's ill-equipped for this situation because he doesn't have a lightsaber. His shit's starting to get fucked.
Oh yeah, and
his legs exposed. Like it's showing the
wear and tear,
the prosthetic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's not. Yeah, he does not have the proper equipment to obviously fight this guy, right? Which, again, that's part of the trial that he is facing as a Sith now, is to take a Jedi's lightsaber and corrupt the blade. So, like, he doesn't have a lightsaber, so, well, now you got to get one, bitch. So
I like the arrogance of him. He's like, nah, fuck it. I'm just going to go in there and see what happens.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And so Vader takes not so kindly to that little taunting, and he just force pushes this dude, just fucking throws a bunch of rocks and shit at him, clocks him in the head, and of course this little training droid is like, don't fear, master, I will destroy him. And Vader just picks this thing up and just fucking rips off his arm and takes his little, it's like one of those, it's not a vibro blade, but it's kind of like those blades that the Magna Guard had that were protecting General Grievous, but it's like a blade version of that instead of it just being like the two little tips.
Yeah.
And he rips it off, and he just chucks this robot into as it's shown, into like the sunset. Like he just chucks this fucking thing. And so Master Infilot tells him, listen, I know what you want. I know why you're here. It's not just to kill me. You came here to get something. And he's like, I can fucking feel it. Like, you want my lightsaber, don't you? Like, you son of a bitch. And so this is a cool panel right here where it's them two, like, squaring off and finally colliding, I guess, blades. And, yeah, Vader's leg is, like, fully fucking exposed, the titanium. You can see the joint where it connects into his leg and shit.
His charred leg.
His charred, crispy leg is just fucking kind of hanging out, his nub or whatever you want to call it. And then this guy is still continuing to taunt him, saying, like, man, how did you kill all the Jedi? It just doesn't seem possible because you're just so fucking weak. Like, you're just a weak bitch. And as he says that, Vader's like leg shorts out or like explodes or whatever.
He's like, oh, I blew up my knee.
He's like, oh, fuck. So it literally looks like it's an ACL tear. Like, it's a robot ACL tear in the back. Vader's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks, all right? I mean, like, this is fucked. If you had Vader on your fantasy team, I would recommend putting him on the IL right now, all right?
Yeah.
So he basically says, no, you couldn't have did it alone. Like, there just be someone else. Like, there's got to be like a master because you're just a little weak bitch. And
which is true.
Yeah. And then Vader's knee now is fucking starting to like fucking fall apart. And of course it does. It just fucking cracks. And now he's left with just the nub of his fucking charred up leg. And he just basically says, Master Infilot tells him that basically, hey, once I kill you, I'm going to find your master and kill his bitch ass too. And then I will restore the light of the Jedi to the galaxy. And now Vader is basically on his knees and he says, think on that, monster. And he pushes him fucking off the cliff. And Vader just drops down into this fucking valley.
In a typical Jedi fashion, he doesn't finish the job on sight.
That is the problem with the Jedi. Like, you can, because this will come back and bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
No doubts. No doubts in my mind. Anyways, he says all the way down, and we get the next issue preview of Vader at the bottom of a thing, one leg missing, things are like on fire around him. He's just like reaching up. He's just like, you son of a bitch.
What's amazing is like how much Vader's hate drives him to succeed in all situations, despite the odds seemingly not in his favor in certain circumstances. But he's like, fuck that.
Fuck that. I'm doing it anyway.
I'm not accepting the situation.
Well, and that's kind of, again, one of the things as we'll probably talk about on Game Rate Star Wars. Like, that is something as a preview that maybe has shifted the reality of how I view Vader. Is he's just literally nah, I don't believe this shit. I'm just doing it. And this is sort of like a little, it's like that hubris trait that he had as Anakin, carrying over into like, this is the dark side
Vader
version of that. This is the Darth Vader version of that.
Or
Where like,
if he was gonna strip away everything that was Anakin, the one trait that that bled into Darth Vader, if he was gonna survive as Darth Vader, is this fucking thing.
yeah, it's this like, this hubris level tenacity, I guess. I don't know if you want to call it what the best way to describe that. But anyways, all right, well, that was the end of the issue. So you got anything else to add?
I just gotta say that the prologue to each issue, as I've stated before, doesn't have the same beat as the 2015 series does. As I said before, it maybe it's because it's two different situations. One was kind of catered towards it being propaganda for the Empire, and it read like that. So it seemed cooler, but this is just kind of exposition. It's just exposition. There's nothing special to it, which kind of hurts it.
Yeah.
And I'm not in love with the art.
Yeah.
But the story itself
It's great.
The story itself is fucking awesome.
Indeed it is. So, anyways, all right, well, that'll be it. So, if you want, go to YouTube, Game Rage Magazine, subscribe. Instagram and TikTok, Game Rage Magazine there. Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Follow at All Gas No Trash Official on Instagram. And you can follow Frank at anime_syndicate_podcast. All right, that does it for us. Catch you guys on the next one.
That was Panel to Panel, the Game Rage Magazine comic book podcast. Thanks for listening. If you want to know more and follow along, go to Instagram and TikTok. Follow at Game Rage Magazine. If you want to follow on Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Tune in next time.